Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. So today I'm gonna do a little Q&A with you guys. I posted on Instagram asking that you guys can ask me literally anything. Nothing is off limits, and I'm gonna answer it for you. So I am super excited about this, and let's get started. All right, so first question. Ooh, you guys have a lot of questions here. All right, so do you plan to, also I have my baby monitor right here next to me, so I'm going to be keeping an eye on that, just making sure everything's okay. So if you see me glancing at the corner of my eyes every once in a while, that's what I'm doing. All right, so first question, do you plan to move near your parents? I would love to live in Florida again. I love Florida, I miss it so much. I moved to New York City because my husband's residency is here. And so we're here for 6 years, and I like New York. It's so much fun. There's always something to do. There's like just so many people, and it's just such a cool city to live in and to experience, but I don't really want to raise a family here. I loved where I grew up in Florida, and I would love to raise a family there. So I would love to move back to Florida one day. So hopefully it happens. We'll see what happens with my husband's job, but fingers crossed. All right, number 2, are you going back to work? So that's a tough question. Right now, I don't plan to go back to work anytime soon. I'm so in love with being a stay-at-home mom and just being with my daughter all the time. I love it. I want to see every milestone and everything. And also, nannies in New York are super expensive, so I feel like I'd be working just to pay for a nanny, and like I want to be there for everything. I don't want to miss anything. So I do plan to stay at home. Also, I don't know if you know this, but I actually own my own business, which I can do from home, and that is a date coaching business called NYC Wing Woman that I started about 4 years ago, and that I do plan to keep up with because I can do it from home. I can still help people in relationships, and I love doing that. And I spent so much time and energy getting it started that I can't just give it up so fast. So I kind of get the best of both worlds, so super happy about that. All right, if you hear that like sounds in the background, that's my dog eating over there. All right, next one. Were you on my Super Sweet 16? Yes, if you follow me, I'm sure you all know I was on Sweet 16. That's crazy to me that people still ask that question because it was literally such a long time ago. Like, I'm 29 years old right now. Gosh, like people are still talking about when I was 16. That's crazy. That's 13 years ago. Actually, filmed 14 years ago. So I can't believe like that's still a topic, but it is. And yes, I was. Next question is, how many kids do you want? I don't know. So I have always wanted to foster kids as well. I feel like there's so many kids that don't have good homes or like are in between. I've always wanted to do that. I also want to have kids of our own. So we have Belle. I always thought I would adopt our next child, but after having Belle, I like fell so in love with having a baby that like I kind of want to have another one. So I think we'll probably have another one and then possibly adopt a child as well, and foster too. All right, Bella's crying. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So let's see what other questions you guys have. What would Cher today tell 16-year-old Cher? That's a good question. I'd probably say you don't need to spend so much money on a Sweet 16. It happens so fast. Same thing with my wedding. Like, you know, I wanted everything to be so perfect. But like, I don't know, I just feel like it's so much money to spend on just a couple hours. Now that like I think that I make my own money, I'm so much more cautious of like what I'm spending for what, and so I probably would say to be more fruitful. How will you parent Belle differently than your mom parented you? Well, my mom and I are super close, as you know, like we're best friends, and I love how she parented me, but when you grow up in a family, you always take what you have, and you know, there's things you take onto your children when you're an adult and you're a parent, and there's things you take and there's things that you don't take. So something that I might do differently, I'd probably try to make my daughter become a little bit more independent, and if she wants something, like my mom always would encourage me with things that she wanted for me, like she would think is the best way to do things, and she would really push those ideas, and I'm gonna try to listen more to her ideas, if that makes sense. I guess you kind of have to be there to understand, but that's what I'm thinking. My mom's over here watching me do this video and I'm like, what are we thinking?
I want to see.
She says like, I don't know if I believe this. We'll see it when it happens. But yeah, so like, for example, my mom was very, didn't like certain boyfriends. She would really voice those opinions, but I really needed to find that stuff out on my own. So I'm sure I'll do the same thing that she did with me. She's like, yeah, you will. But I would like to hope that I can learn from my experiences and try to do better even for my child. I don't know if there's much better.
You're not going to want your child to make a mistake.
She says, you're not going to want your child to make a mistake. And I get that. But you know, sometimes kids gotta learn for themselves what's right and what's wrong. If you always tell them what to do, then, you know, you're just always, you're not really allowing them to understand. So that's how I feel. We'll see. All right, why and when did you go vegan? I've been vegan now for 4 years. It'd be like 4.5 years. Before that, I was vegetarian. I've been vegetarian since I was 12 years old. So I've always had a real big thing for, the reason I do it is for the animals. I love animals. I don't feel like they should be killed for meat and for eating when we can live off of so many other ways. We don't need meat in order to survive. Also, factory farming is so terrible, the way that they're kept. It's not even how they're killed, it's how they're raised. They're literally tortured, and I don't want to give money to that. I don't want to support that. The reason I went vegan, well, first of all, I went vegetarian when I was 12 years old. I actually grew up kind of on a farm. A lot of people don't expect that of me, but I did. I love animals. Like, I've always loved animals, and my neighbors growing up actually had a real farm. And so I always wanted more animals. And so for my birthday, I begged my parents for a pet goat, because they had a pet goat, my neighbors, and my parents actually got me 2 pet goats, a Nubian and a pygmy goat, and I fell in love with them. And then after that, I wanted chickens, and they got me chickens and ducks, and I had rabbits, and oh, it was just the best thing ever, and I fell so in love with them. And to me, they were my pets. Like, I really like loved them, like you would love a dog or a cat, and you probably wouldn't eat dog. Well, for me, I wouldn't eat chicken. And when I made that connection that there was a chicken nugget on my plate, but my pet chicken is outside, I was like, how am I eating this? I can't do that. So at 12 years old, I decided right there and then to become vegetarian. And I stayed vegetarian for many years, and then I was living in LA for a little bit of time, and I went out to a farm in LA where dairy cows were actually rescued and living there. And I learned all about the dairy industry and how bad it is, and about like the egg industry and how terrible it is, and how the cows are, for example, the dairy industry, the cows are like baby calf are taken, first of all, they're impregnated, forced to have a baby, which I know how hard having a baby is. I can't imagine being forced to do it. And then once they have that baby, the baby's then taken away from them so we can drink their milk. And they're hooked up to tubes and just to get that milk, and it's a terrible, terrible industry, and I would never want to support it. So at that moment, as soon as I realized like what I was giving money to, I said, there is no way I can ever support this. They're taking, like, their baby cows are getting taken away, we're stealing their milk, then they're, once they stop producing milk, they're getting impregnated again just so we can get their milk. Like, back in the olden days, no one used to like sit underneath a cow and like drink their milk. Like, we don't need it. So I don't want to support that. There's so many other alternatives. So that's why I went vegan, and I'm so happy. I feel the best I've ever felt. I'm proud of what I'm doing. So, long story, kind of long, tried to make it short. What is the best thing that you ever did? It's a very broad question, but the best thing that I ever did was definitely having my daughter, Belle. She is like the light of my life. Like, she is the best, and I'm so happy that I, you know, decided to have her. Like, I remember when I was deciding whether I wanted to like be a mom or not, and is it the time right, is it not? I feel like this was the best decision I ever made, and I couldn't be happier. And like, you know, I used to go to bed at night saying to myself, oh, like, oh, I gotta get up the next day, I have work, of all this stress. And like, now when I go to sleep at night and she's sleeping, I'm excited to wake up the next day because I just want to spend more time with her. And that's how you know, like, this is the best thing that you ever did. That like starts to make me kind of like a teary-eyed even, like just thinking about that. But yeah. What is your biggest accomplishment? My biggest accomplishment, I would say, actually is writing a book with my mom. My mom and I wrote a book called A Bond That Lasts Forever, and I was never much of a writer, and neither was my mom. I'm not much of a reader either, but we decided we wanted to write this book together, and it took so much time and energy, and we did it, like we accomplished it, and I feel so proud to be able to say I'm a published author, and I love it, and it's something that my mom and I can always look back on and read, and I can show Belle one day, and I'm just so proud of us for like saying we're gonna do it, but like actually sticking to it and actually doing it. Okay, did you always know that you were going to be a nurse? No, I did not. So my dad is a doctor and both my brothers are doctors, and my mom was a dental hygienist. And I always said I am not going to be in the medical profession. Like my mom and dad always wanted me to be a nurse. They always thought that was a great job, and I always was like, no, this is not what I'm doing. I hate blood, I hate needles. And I always said no, and I always thought I would not do that. So I wanted to either be an actress or a school teacher, and I always used to remember like playing with my dolls and playing school, and I always thought I was gonna do that. And then as I got older and I started college, I don't know, something in my mind kind of just like shifted, and I love helping people, I love working with people, I wanted good hours, and there was a lot of things I was thinking about taking into consideration, and then I ended up applying and going to nursing school, and I became a nurse, and I started working in the med-surg unit and progressive care unit, and then I got tired of working with like all the blood and that stuff. I started working in psych, where you can actually like sit and talk to people and get to know people, and I felt like really help people, and I loved that. Then I started working at a med spa and doing like the fun side of nursing, like the Botox and fillers and cool stuff like that. So the thing that I loved about nursing was that you can do anything. Like if you're tired of one job, then you can switch and do something totally different in nursing, and that's like my personality. I can't like stick to one thing all the time. I always want to do new things and do something different. So that was something that really drew me into nursing, and so that's why I ended up deciding to do it. How did you know you were ready to start a family? That's a great question. How did I know that I was ready? Well, I kind of felt like I was getting older, and I felt like I was getting to the time in my life. Jared and I had been together for 10 years before deciding to have a family. We were getting to this point where I felt like, you know, I was kind of ready for like that next chapter in our lives. And I was, you know, starting to feel like I had done everything that I really wanted to do. I started a business, I worked, I had a career, I was like, there was a lot of things that I was doing and that I felt really proud of, and I felt like I was ready to kind of, you know, venture onto that next chapter in my life. But I still wasn't positive, and I had a pregnancy scare. I thought maybe I was pregnant. I wasn't trying, and I just thought maybe it was a slip up. And I remember telling my sister-in-law this, and she says to me, well, were you happy about it? Or if you were pregnant, would you have wanted it? And I was like, yeah, of course. And she's like, well, that's good, because if you didn't want it, that meant you weren't ready. But the fact that you would have been excited about it means that you probably are. And I was like, you know what, that's true. Like when I had just a scare, I wasn't even trying, and I took the pee-stat stick, I was like kind of hoping that I would be pregnant. And I wasn't even trying, so to me that made me realize, you know what, she's right. Like I think I am ready. I want this. And Jared had already, he was ready a long time ago. It was just me getting to that point in my life where I was like, all right, I've done what I wanted to do, and now I'm ready for this. And I feel like it's so important, because I no longer have to worry about, like, I don't feel the need to be selfish. I can dedicate my full energy onto my daughter, and I love that. Someone said, where are your eyelashes from? Well, these old things are, actually I have the box right here, Eyelash Flare Beauty, and it's in Aurora. I actually like love these lashes. Whenever I'm filming for something like television, I always wear these. They're my favorite. All right. Where is your outfit from? Well, the current outfit that I'm wearing is so comfortable. My mom actually got it for me. She's the best shopper. Whenever I need to go like shopping or I need something, she picks out the best stuff. I like don't even love going shopping anymore. I just love when my mom does it, because she has the best taste in the world. But this is from Express, and it is just a really comfy, cute jumpsuit. It has like a little belly show type thing. That was a weird picture, but just this really cute jumpsuit. And it's so soft and cozy and comfortable and great for the holidays. So I feel like all I need right now is my like cup of hot cocoa and sit with the fireplace, and it would be the perfect outfit. All right, next question. What's your favorite color? I've had the same favorite color my whole life. I always say pink and purple. I can't decide, both of those two. All right, someone asked me, what is my biggest pet peeve? I'd say like mean people. I know that's a weird thing, but like someone who's mean to other people or, you know, just like rude, I just don't get it. Like we all are going through life trying our best. Like we should all just be trying to help each other and bring positivity. And when someone's just outright mean, like why? What is the point of that? So that is definitely my biggest pet peeve. Next question, what is the first thing that you notice about somebody? I always notice their smile. So I'm drawn to positivity. I love when someone is happy and pleasant. As you know, like I smile a lot. I think that it's the best makeup that you can wear is your smile. So I love when I see someone else smiling and someone who's just happy. I love that warm energy. I think we should try to spread more of that in this world. Someone just asked me, my husband's starting residency in July. Any wife of a doctor advice? Yes, get ready for long hours. They work so many long hours. It's so tough, but just be supportive as possible and try to make their life easier. And when they're happy, you know, you're gonna be happier in return. It's tough. Also find your own life. Like make sure you're independent because during residency, it's gonna be tough. My husband and I have been together for 10 years, like I said before. So we have a really good foundation, but if we didn't, I know that it would be hard because I don't get to see him as often as I would like to. So when you have opportunity to be together, take advantage of it. So if he's off for a day, instead of going out for drinks with your friend, like hang out with him and plan a fun date night. I think another fun thing to keep your marriage strong, just in general, is to continue always dating your husband. Never stop dating each other. Even though you're married, don't stop dating. Enjoy like the fun things, still surprise each other, still, you know, get cute outfits, still dress up around them. Like that's gonna keep your marriage so much stronger. All right, that is all for my Q&A. That was so much fun. Thank you all so much for your awesome questions. I loved like answering those for you. So I hope you guys got to learn a little bit more about me, and thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And thanks for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.